Okay, I think this is working. All right. Yes, I do not know what I'm doing. Is it? Hello? 1, 2, 3. Is it? Hello? 1, 2, 3. Is it? Hello? Yeah. It's not the greatest, but I don't know, I can't really do much with it right now. Again, I do not know what I'm doing. Besides, I really didn't expect anyone to actually watch this. So I think I'm just going to get started. What I am trying to do right now is to make the walls look nicer, to instead of using just hashtags, use actual line symbols, which I have somewhere. Yeah. Use these symbols depending on in which direction the wall goes, which should be much much easier to actually see what's going on the map. And for that, I have to be able to read the adjacent tiles to any given one. So probably should just pass over here a dictionary of direction to dictionary of direction to map tile. And every neighbor if there is no tile in that direction, or the tile group of the tile in that direction is the same as the tile group. that case, we would add in which case to the matching tiles direction we would add neighbor key. And I think that's all in here. Now in map builder, near the end we have to this is actually placing the rooms, generating corridors. So here at finalizing map, actually we could do it in here. Right. Did I make a function for neighbors? Get tile neighbors from initial position. Okay, so that is just position, so probably not what I need right now. And I am down here. Alright, just for the sake of this being more readable, let's do it this way. So we definitely define that tile, and then we need to define a dictionary of direction map tile. Neighbors. And then I think we can define it like that. So that it would what? Direction north would be I greater than 0. Tile grid I minus 1 A. No. Oh. Oh, and else, what do you do on else? On else you return null. I guess it's map tile question mark. Which also means that in the extension methods this needs to be a map tile question mark. And not here in map builder. We want to do this. No, too much. We want to duplicate this with south, east, and west. I less than great height minus 1. Target I plus 1. And then here, same deal. A less than great width minus 1. And this returns A minus 1. This returns A plus 1. Yeah. Right, and after that we would call, I suppose, rather than returning, it should be a void and set dynamic appearance, and instead of returning, it should be tile.appearance. Yes. That would be only in map tile ball plus dynamic appearance by default false, and if not tile has dynamic appearance, then we continue. And then tile.set it needs to be public, so that map builder can call set dynamic appearance with neighbors and default thickness for now. And I believe that the only thing that needs to be done right now is to actually set up the values for individual tiles. So, as dynamic appearance is false, and tile group is floor, and it's supposed to have a comma. The same for floor. For wall, it does have a dynamic appearance, and it is a wall. For repeat, we have default values. For fog, we have default values. A door doesn't have a dynamic appearance, but it counts as a wall. The same for open door. Stairs do not. Other stairs do not. Water doesn't for now. There. And if I actually build it, I guess I do have to take into account that with the VMagicMirror running, it does use up a good chunk of the processor, so building will be slower. And what happened? Nothing happened. Great. Why not? Why not? Why not? I guess we'll have to be debugging that, so tile.key out tile. I guess I can just say at IA, since I already have this here. And then in the actual extension method, insert dynamic appearance, we'll do char new appearance, which is this. Then we string, which will then write and then we set it. And then just so I don't have to drown in the number of logs, I am going to go ahead and in generate new map, set 3 to 4 rooms. It isn't called for any tile. Oh, right. I did not include the new parameters in the constructor in map tile when it is copying data from the template. It needs to have as dynamic appearance is template as dynamic appearance, and tile group is template tile group. That should do it. And that is very incorrect. Okay, what happened here? So, what exactly am I looking at? Corners got all 4, which is technically speaking correct because I just realized that I did this wrong. So what I actually want is to check sides and corners for the different groups, because I shouldn't be drawing the inside parts. On the other side, the verticals seem to be doing fine, the horizontals are going the wrong way, which might just be that I messed up in the dictionary. Yeah, that's probably why. I most likely messed up in the dictionary, meaning that it is using the wrong symbol for the location. So I would have to this will be annoying to do. I would have to swap places of this one with this one. Then this one with this one. These two. This is swapped, this is swapped, alright. Nope, that's the wrong one. Wait, no, I did it right the first time. This goes here, this goes there. I wonder how annoying the keyboard sounds will be. I'll have to check the road, but honestly not sure what I can even do about that. It's not like I can get a more directional microphone. so that should fix this issue. In theory, I do like that this program has hand tracking, but in practice, it's less than stellar. Plus, it's possible that it has some lag because of everything going on, and then in between the frames that it gets, it manages to forget that it was detecting something. Don't know how that works exactly. But yes, this looks more correct. I am of course missing corners, which is something to address, and I have the wall sticking out. But over here in the corridor, it is actually the way it's supposed to be. Need to make all tiles diagonal to floor visible when player does what? When player vision is eventually introduced. And for now, we do not extend lines into walls. So if we only add the direction if there is at least one. Hello. Right. Well, this is supposed to be a dungeon map. I guess it does kinda look like a spaceship because of how the room's generated there. What I am currently trying to figure out is to make the walls look nicer. And, well, it's most of the way there, except they are connecting to the walls that are further in the background. And to fix that, I would have to go to the map builder, to dynamic. What do I need to do? Yeah, I decided that just plain Visual Studio would be somewhat boring, and I put together the cheapest Vtubing setup possible, meaning I got the first half-decent looking free model and a free version of the up to animated although the free version does have the weird static distortion. Right, where was I? I will have to pass additionally the neighbors that are on the diagonals. Which means... I mean, yeah, it does kinda work. I am not mad about it. Let's direction north or direction east is what I will have to add, and that is I greater than 0 and from east I greater than 0. And for that we pass I minus 1, a minus 1. Oh, and then if it doesn't have that, we pass a null. Yeah, you had to do it, huh? Thanks, I guess. I mean, this isn't exactly the most thrilling content. I'm just coding while getting distracted. Okay, this is supposed to be west, then a less than grid width minus 1 and a plus 1. I guess it would be faster to do it this way. South and south. And then what am I trying to do? Oh yeah, I plus 1. So that should pass on the diagonals. And then in this function, I need to check if any of the cardinal directions also have their appropriate diagonals, which is getting more complicated. What am I doing? We definitely don't need that anymore, since it actually works and it just spams the console. But that means that for each neighbor I would need a way to get the neighbor's diagonal. So if it's null, then it means that it is out of bounds, meaning that both of its diagonal neighbors are also out of bounds. Okay, that's something to cross later. No, I in fact have no idea what I'm doing, at least when it comes to the stream setup. I did not have a thumbnail until 5 minutes before I was supposed to start, and then I didn't even know what to do to start, how that is set up. But I slightly know what I'm doing with coding, at least I'd like to think so. In this case, we would want to know that one of the neighbors does not match the tile group. You know, I think I figured that out some, 40 minutes ago? But also you have to press the go live button both on YouTube and in OBS, so you know that's an additional complication. Right, how do I extract diagonals? I can get diagonals by checking for the ones that have two flags set first of all, and then after I separate diagonals from orthogonals, I will know. Okay, the hand tracking is really weird, but I will then know that the diagonals are the neighbor if they have the same flag as the main one. Okay, yeah. So I need to make two dictionaries. Diagonals equals neighbors. I mean, it would actually work in this case, but no, thank you. Neighbors were, how do you structure that? neighbors where key value lambda. What? Okay. Its neighbors were key and value. This is diagonals, so bit operations. I don't think I have here. Yeah, bit operations pop count. Exactly this. And this, I guess, is direction. And we want to return that. No? Oh, is it? What do you mean? Ah, what does that mean? Why is it inaccessible? Oh, okay, just supposed to be uppercase. Cannot convert key value pair to... Okay, I do not know what I'm doing. Well, in case you haven't noticed, I am doing stuff with walls, not doors. I guess I have to look up how you're actually supposed to do that. Well, that's not my problem, is it? You chose to watch a coding stream. I mean, you can, but then you can't really complain about not understanding code. How to select items from dictionary, where the... Where the... Where the key has more than one flag set. Okay, how are you supposed to do that correctly? Oh, you're just supposed to add to dictionary. Cool. Yeah, sure. How does Wednesday sound? then orthogonals, is that how that's spelled? It equals 1. I'm glad you're having fun here. And then for each neighbor in the orthogonals, what are you supposed to do? If neighbor value that, and here I need to check the diagonals. So diagonals any? No. Any. We want any diagonal that is actually adjacent to the direction, meaning if we end them, the resulting value is above 0. So key value pair to key value pair key and neighbor key is greater than 0. What's your problem now? Oh. It also needs to be closed like this and closed like that, because we also need the second condition. So and KVP value tile group is different than neighbor value tile group. What? Oh yeah, I guess I should check KVP value if it actually exists. Well, it's closed because if you leave one not closed, it's going to scream at you. So all of them are closed and hopefully will remain that way forever. Right, what do we do if the main tile is null? I guess we just don't connect to nulls. So we do this isn't null, and unless I did something stupid, that should actually work. Also, while that is building, I could potentially rotate the model a little, because you can actually see the mouse pad, and I think it's neat, since it actually matches where the mouse is on the screen. Yeah, that looks better. And with that brief distraction, we can generate the dungeon. And that is not quite right. That is, well, it is a two-part thing. Like, yeah, it has webcam hand tracking, although it's not that great. I am still holding both hands in front of me, but it lost one. But also this app specifically has a thing where it takes your mouse movement and clicks, as well as keyboard clicks, and shows them on the thing. It is pretty unique from what I've seen from other apps, and that is why I went with it, since it does fit the actual, coding idea. But let that not distract us from the fact that something went wrong. And specifically, this is one away from the corners. Yes, the issue with those two solutions is that they require having an Xbox Kinect or an iPhone app. Or, an iPhone app. Which I have neither. I just have a cheap webcam, and it is very much in the spirit of doing this at zero budget. But yes, what is going on, and why did the logic like that? Oh, I know why. Right. It's because, looking for instance at this corner, it checks it can connect in this direction, up or to the right. But currently, it checks behind the diagonals are also walls. It doesn't draw on anything. It checks to the left. The diagonal isn't the wall, so it's fine over there. But when it checks to the right, it also has two walls, so it doesn't draw connection in this direction. And if it has only one connection, then it draws itself as a pillar. Which is there an elegant solution to that, or do I just do a hacky one? I will have to do a proper solution, because if I just did the hacky, if you have just one direction, extend it further that way, it wouldn't work for the diagonal walls. So the solution... Yeah, sure. You see, the problem is, I don't even know how to answer that. I need to, actually think on how to make this thing work. And that would be... Pretty sure it's saved automatically, but also don't expect much to happen. I'll be just sitting here muttering to myself. Oh, and also, yeah, good luck with that. Also, the potential issue is here if we had a one white corridor. I Right, so the main issue is that if we have a direct empty in one direction, then we really should force a movement elsewhere, but we also can't force it just blindly because of corner cases like this one. You know, this is more tiring when you have to actually think about the stream existing, but I can probably keep going. I just need to think. So I guess this is a case of when this one is open, we want a lack of a direction going this way, and we want a lack of the direction going this way. But we do want a direction going that way, and we do want a direction going that way. And what is the difference here? Because this one has a diagonal thing, meanwhile this one doesn't. This one has 3 walls, this one has walls and a floor, but both of them would have to be drawn the same way. This is one of those things where I would typically get up and walk around while thinking about it because that helps, but A, can't really do it while streaming, and B, can't really do it this late, so the streaming doesn't matter in this case. So we always want to have a connection if the direction has an empty. Okay, maybe if I write it out, it will help. One is no connection. We have no connection if the neighbor is of a different tile group. That's step 1. Step 2 is connection if the one of the neighbors diagonals is of a different tile group. And then having that, I would just have to figure out the rule that accounts for these corners. Because the problem here, I suppose, is that it has only one of them. Like only in this direction it got the proper connection. So I suppose we could, in cases like that, force it to find a second direction. That would make the function more complex though, because after running through all the tiles you would kinda have to do it again to check which ones are also viable. Although I guess a simple solution would be that if there are only 2 orthogonals that match, then no matter what, we do want them to form a connection. I think that's it. If there are only 2 orthogonals, well, no, because this one has 3 orthogonals. Okay, so that's not it. So what is the difference between this and this? I guess that's what we would have to establish. These 3 versus these 3. This or that. Because if this one is viable, then we know that we draw a full through line. If it's not viable, then it's like the one in the back and can be safely ignored. This really shouldn't be that hard. I don't know why it seems to be. Maybe it's just that I'm late and No, not really. I mean, streaming is not a valid excuse here. If anything, it kinda helps because talking things out loud can help to actually understand and notice them. Huh. I mean, from the perspective of just checking the diagonals, there is literally zero difference, so that can't be the method of figuring it out. And we have to assume that we don't have the knowledge of what shapes the other worlds are drawing, because we don't guarantee, well, we know that it effectively prints out row by row, column by column. So the diagonal spawns correctly because of this one thing. This one spawns correctly because of these two. This one doesn't spawn correctly because it only has one live diagonal. Is one live diagonal a reason to go for a full line? Maybe. I mean, this one should be a straight line into the wall, which is currently invisible but should exist. But what would that mean? The diagonal here in the south means that west and east are possible, but also how to distinguish it from the diagonal in the east. That would mean that south and north are possible. We do not want north. Okay, I can't think of a solution at the moment, so let's just for now go to the tile dictionary and correct the diagonal rooms a little. Nope, not tile dictionary, room dictionary. That's the one. Because we can't have gaps with this new method of drawing rooms, which also means that for map builder, in the place where it draws corridors, right, where it draws corridors, get tile neighbors, we have to set up to also return diagonals. Is it used anywhere else? Yes, it is. So I guess we'll do a bool. No, wait, we can. Can we? Can you do a bool within this, or does that break things? No, whatever. Okay, you can. So include diagonals. And then if include diagonals, we return row -1, column +1, row +1, column +1, and then I guess this would have to be a -1, and then -1, +1. Oh, I know what I'm doing, stop it. Alright, by default, include diagonals as false. And then here we call it with true. Let's try that. It is taking a while to build. Apologies for the creaking chair. And what did we end up with? We do have corners on corridors and on triangles. So that looks good. Now it's just these near corners. I guess at least half of the near corners, the inner ones, are defined by having an empty neighbor, an empty diagonal next to an empty orthogonal, but just one each. So I guess that could be a rule. It doesn't feel very elegant, but it might be the best I'll come up with so far, for now. So, if I guess that would be more of a general check, rather than checking specific directions. We would do a general one, and then if the Is there a way to word it logically so that it would also work for cases like this, where it's just where where the wall is on both sides? I do not know. I am getting distracted. Right, what is it that is supposed to happen here? Also, I really need to calibrate the hand tracking on this thing because this is way too low. Why is it detecting it as the wrong hand? VTube Studio has far superior hand tracking from what I've tested. Unfortunately, it doesn't have free models that that actually do hand tracking without major constraints. And yes, I got distracted again. Also, this one is a peculiar case because this one is an inner corner. Also, I guess it's the same as this. It might be that I am trying to find a perfect solution that doesn't exist and should just settle for a more brute force one. I honestly don't know. I guess if we started from the scratch with this idea that we aren't testing individual directions, what would that look like? Well, still, we definitely don't have a connection to a tile that doesn't match, so step 1 does not change. You know what? How about for now, I just do something different and test if the different wall thicknesses are drawn properly. So that would be over here. Changing it to 2 will be easy to see, since those are the doubled up. Yeah, the way I set it up is that from the 3 sets of actual lines that are in ASCII characters, 0 is the thin one, 1 is thick, and 2 is doubled. that does work. Other than the connections, and here we have another edge case that is incorrect, because it should be a triple leg over here. But we are running into the same thing where this one has an empty corner over here and it has an empty corner over there, but this one doesn't have an empty corner over here. So if we solve one of these issues, both of them will be solved. No, same here, I guess. But you know what? I think I'll stop with the streaming here, because I am getting fairly tired. I have been up way too long yesterday. And clearly I am not at my peak performance right now. So I guess I'll be back on Friday and we'll see if I'll feel like fixing any of the extreme stuff that happens here. Yeah. I guess that's it. Goodbye. Farewell. That's what I'm supposed to be saying at the end. Until next time, farewell.